Welcome back to Repress. I'm Lionel. That's Kris. Today's assignment is Brandy.
The vocal Bible. Actually, comment below and let us know exactly
why
the vocal Bible, like the correlation between the Bible and her voice. Tell me what.
But yeah, the assignment is Brandy.
We're going to talk about Brandy's
her discography
on vinyl. This does not include B7 because I don't have that one, FYI. Sorry.
You didn't have to mention it. You just shouldn't have even said anything about it. You just said it because I don't have that one, FYI.
Oh, you got the first one?
We have an impressive debut here, Brandy. Her self-titled album.
That cover is so, like, nostalgic. I remember, like, seeing it at Sam Goody all the time. Like, it's just such a cool album cover.
It was everywhere, right?
It was everywhere.
One of those albums that was everywhere.
Everybody, I remember all the kids at school had the tape with the CD with the little Walkman. Like, everybody had this album. And rightfully so.
So let's just talk about what's on here. She has a baby, best friend, I Want to Be Down, Broken Hearted.
Yeah.
This is a really solid debut, full of hits. Really mature sound for that.
It was very mature, yet it still felt
appropriate
for her age at the same time. Right. Like, you had a song like Moving On or like Sunny Day. Like, those songs were about like a kid trying to be grown almost, it felt. Even like Always On My Mind. That's probably one of my favorite songs by Brandy as well. And then the Dedicate interludes were really good too. It was just an overall great project that she should really be proud of. It's rare to have a project this solid at an age like that too.
Right.
So,
right. We talk about how great she's become as a singer.
Yeah.
But it's just so crazy to look back and hear how good she was even back then.
Yeah.
We're talking. Her music was mature and appropriate, but her voice was also just really mature.
Yeah.
For that age, I listened to it again recently, and just hearing all her little crazy ad libs and stuff in the background.
Like, where do you get that from?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was really impressive. So, solid debut album from Brandy, and this one is out of print, I believe. But
yeah, so it's two versions of it. It's one that's, I think, a 1 LP that was released in the 90s when it came out, and then they re-released it a few years ago, but that one's now out of print as well. Hopefully it'll be another repress of it because it sold out pretty quickly, it feels like.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I had my copy.
Glad I got mine.
I'm glad
too.
I got mine. But if you can find it for a decent price, pick it up. If not, then hopefully they'll reissue it. So
agreed.
Cool.
Number 2 is that's the one.
That's the one. I'm so jealous. You have the promo sticker on yours. Mine doesn't have it.
Oh yeah, I kept it. I was like, back in the day, like when I first got records, I would have ripped it off, but I love the way it looks.
That's really dorky of us.
So dorky, yeah. But no, Never Say Never. This is when Brandy started to develop the sound that she's known for, as far as just the background vocals. Her voice was more mature on this album, and the production of it was just out of this world. Her and Rodney Jerkins kind of developed that musical marriage that we talk about often on here. And it reminds me a lot of Aaliyah's 1 in a Million album. We talked about that. We kind of touched on it when we talked about Aaliyah, one of our last episodes. But by just the fact that this album opened up with the intro it did, and then Angel in Disguise, just was one of my favorite album openers of all time. And it just got better from there, as far as Learn the Hard Way. Almost doesn't count. Like, that song is just, it was such a mature song, but it still felt age appropriate. She was great at, or whoever was A&R in her project was so great at picking out these songs for her that were mature enough but still felt young at the same time.
Let's go through this track list, Brandy. So we already talked about Angel in Disguise, Learn the Hard Way, Almost Doesn't Count. We're gonna skip Top of the World for now. We're gonna skip over that one. But so my favorites are Put That on Everything.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just a perfect R&B track.
It is. Yeah, I love that song. But yeah, again, she just has such a beautiful voice, and it shows from the first album to this album. She has range. She can do different things with her voice, and we'll keep talking about that as we talk about the rest of our albums. But yeah, this is an incredible project, incredible sophomore album.
Yeah,
as you stated.
More effort.
More effort. Yeah, this one's not available, so you can't really buy this. But hopefully they'll eventually repress this one because
it's the 25th anniversary this year.
So maybe they'll repress it.
Next year. Oh, my bad. My year's off. Next year. All right. Ooh-wee.
This is full moon.
Full.
This is full moon, Bro. So the truth is, you remember it took me a while to.
Me too.
I was about to say this album. I didn't really like this album when it first came out. My favorite moments are the ones with Rodney Jerkins. I wasn't crazy about the ones that he wasn't really a part of. But it is a solid project. I get why people like it. I get why some people say it's their favorite Brandy album. It's a solid effort. It just wasn't something that I appreciated as much until recently.
Well, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I thought when I was younger, a lot of the songs to me sounded alike. They kind of ran into each other. When I was younger, that's what I heard. But as I've gotten older, I see how the songs they complement each other more so than just run into each other.
It's more separation.
It is more separation between them. And yeah, this is when we started to really hear how great she was vocally. She was always good vocally. Like, she always had that special voice. But on this album, I don't know if she just matured at that point, or she was taking vocal lessons, or maybe she was holding back before. But on this album, she let it rip, and it was just amazing to hear. I mean, you have like songs like Full Moon is a great album opener. Then towards the beginning of the album, you get a track like When You Touch Me, which to me is the essential, contemporary R&B track. I don't think many people have a song like that in their repertoire at all. And her voice on that song is just amazing. She floated on that. You have songs like This and All in Me. Those two songs actually go right into each other, and that transition is one of my favorite transitions I've heard on an album. Yeah, songs like Nothing. The ballads on this album are really great. I think a lot of people sometimes listen to like the crazy Rodney Jerkins production, but like the special songs are in those ballads on this album, I believe.
It's funny that you mentioned that the lack of separation that you heard when you were younger, because I think that was probably my biggest issue as well. But now it's crazy because that is my favorite part, is even though a lot of the Rodney, and I do hear the separation more now.
Yeah.
But I just love when Rodney Jerkins is present on because those are the times when you don't hear as much separation.
Exactly.
But I still love the times when he's present. Like, even when we have songs where he's not there, like you sense that he's not there, and then he comes back. It's like, okay, now we're back into the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just it's so many different gems on this album, and you can get a different experience listening to it every time, depending on what you're looking for, what mood you're in. So
every time I listen to this album, there is one more song that I like a little bit more.
Yeah, your experience definitely.
Yeah.
To me, it gets better with every listen. Afrodisiac. Which is probably my favorite Brandy album.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would say this is my favorite one. Again, we talk about how she grows with each album and doesn't necessarily try to chase a sound that everybody's doing, but tries to come up with her own sound. And I feel like this is between Full Moon and Afrodisiac. This is where like she was finally able to let her freak flag fly. Like, she was able to experiment with a lot of different kinds of sounds. Like, I don't know, her and Timberland had a great chemistry on this album, and I really just appreciated the chance that she took on this album with a lot of these tracks. Some of my favorite tracks on here are like Focus, I Tried, Finally, Should I Go. Her background vocals to me shine the most on this album than any of her other albums. This is, I think, when she finally started to vocally produce herself, and you can hear that she just again wasn't trying to go with the trend. She just did what she wanted, and it turned into this, I would call it a masterpiece. So yeah, I'll say this is my favorite Brandy album. This is where she was really able to fully become as creative as she wanted to be and could be.
This is another album that it took a while to grow on me. I appreciate it now more so for, as you just said, all her background vocals. I do like as you said, the musical marriage between Timberland and Brandy as well. It was too progressive for me at the time, and it's one of those albums that it just takes a while for me to really appreciate it. yeah,
You like your R&B classic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not that type of person, but I do get why people like this. I did listen to it again recently. It sounds good. Every single thing that you said about the production, her background vocals, the contribution from Timbaland. It's a great album.
I thought it was very important just to highlight her legacy as far as just alternative R&B too, as well as just your simple R&B songs like "I Want to Be Down" and "Broken Hearted."
Yeah, that's what I like. Yeah,
that's simple.
Simple R&B.
Or she can give you that, or she can give you the craziest shit you've ever heard.
She can do anything with her voice. Her voice is absolutely
insane. She can sing
insane.
anything, and
she can sing anything. It doesn't matter if you like it.
Maybe that's why they call it. Maybe they should call it like the vocal dictionary than the Bible. Because you got what you want from A to Z. You know what I mean? Like vocally, she can give you anything from A to Z, but to call her the vocal Bible just sounds stupid. So stop saying that shit.
That was Brandy. That was the Brandy episode. Brandon.
Yeah.
It was fun as usual. We have to get B7 and come back and give an update on that one.
This is as far as I'm going.
But yeah, I mean, I guess in summary, these are all great albums to have. They're not available, so you're gonna have to wait for them to be available. But yeah,
if you can't get your hand on them, get them.
Yeah, if you can get them for a good price on Discogs or whatever, then go for it. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Peace out.